Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
So, how was your puja vacation?
Good, ma'am.
You have enjoyed or not? Only
Enjoy,
student.
ma'am.
Why? After puja vacation, your studies over or what? You have forgotten that you have study also. Your classes is going on or not? Your classes is going on or not? Nobody replied.
Going on, ma'am.
Today I will discuss the last experiment. Okay, so I will wait for some time to join some more people. All practical you have written in your copy. Means for experiment I have given you. So all written in your copy or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Written, ma'am. Written.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, keep ready your practical copy. So this experiment number 5, uh, don't write now. When I ask to write it, then you only write this practical. Okay. For now, you only know how to do this practical because when after doing the practical, you only can write the practical in your copy. Okay. So 13 participants.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, in this experiment was last experiment now.
This 5 experiment number 5 will be last experiment.
Okay, ma'am.
Your sessional exam will be rescheduled. So they have declared the routine, but after 5 or 10 minutes, they decide to reschedule the routine. So I have share you with you the routine, but after 5 minutes, they told us to don't share with their student. But I have already shared, right? Na. So they confused what to do with you because third semester or fifth semester sessional exam is going on, but for you the routine will be rescheduled. So I am starting the number 5 experiment. So I will share the PDF at this one. The pages is so dirty because I have taken picture and make it PDF. Okay. So, coming to the experiment number 5, aim of the experiment is to determine the unknown acid radical. Okay, in previous experiment, we have learned about what is salt and what is the main particle in salt. We know that salt contains two radical, that one is acidic radical and basic radical, right? So in this experiment, we will know how can you determine the acidic radical from the salt. Okay. So for that, you have to do a preliminary investigation or physical character. You have to know what is the physical character of the given salt. because examiner will be provided you a salt. So from that salt you have to determine the what is the acid radical can be present in this salt. Okay, so to first of you have to know what is the physical character of the salt. Then you have to know the color. Physical character means first you have to know the appearance. Appearance means crystalline or amorphous. First you have to know that. Then you have to check the color. Then you have to check the solubility. So you already know how to check the solubility. So after that, you have to do for determine the unknown acid radical. You have to do dry test and wet test. Okay. So for dry test, you have to do four tests for these tests are dry test. Okay. So first of all, dry means what? The test tube or the container cannot be moisture, or it you have to dry the test tube or the apparatus. Got it? So first of all you have to take a pinch of salt in a test tube, and you have to add dilute H2SO4. Then observation may come or may not come, because if carbonate ion this one if carbonate ion will be present, then you can observe this observation. So after doing the experiment, that one is in salt, while you add where when you add the dilute H2SO4 in salt, then observation may come a colorless odorless gas is coming from the test tube. Okay. So if you see the colorless odorless gas is coming out from the test tube, that means carbonate ion is present. Okay, if carbonate ion present, then you have to write down that in inference you have to write down that carbonate ion is present. If you cannot see the colorless odorless gas is coming out from the test tube, that means carbonate ion is absent. So in inference you have to write down that carbonate ion is absent. After that, second taste you have to do that salt. You have to take a salt in a dry test tube, a pinch of salt in a dry test tube, and you have to add concentrated H2SO4. For this test, the four observation may come. Okay, so four observation may come or may not come. So the observation may come colorless fumes with pungent smell, which gives cloudly white. So leave this. So colorless fumes with pungent smell you can see coming out from the test tube. If you see this observation, that means chloride ion is present. Okay. So next observation may come reddish brown fumes with pungent smell you can observe. If you observe this observation, that means bromide ion is present. If you cannot see this observation, that means this chloride ion bromide ion is absent, right? So third observation you may see that violet vapors coming out from the test tube, that will turn the if you take a starch paper while the violet vapor is coming out, when you put the starch paper on the test tube, that then it will turns blue. Okay, so if you see this observation that iodide present. Okay, next observation you can see that light brown fumes with evolved on strong heating. So you can see a light brown fumes is coming. You can see. Okay, if you see this observation, that means nitrate ion is present. Okay, so after this, if you see this observation, that means these are present, and if you not observe this observation, that means these are absent. So after that, you have to do the third test. That one is salt plus. Then after this, you have to take a again you have to take a clean test tube. Then in that test tube, we have to add a pinch of salt, and we have to add concentrated H2SO4 plus MnO2 manganese oxide powder, and you have to heat it. Okay, so after heating, three observation may you can observe. So these three are, first of all, greenish yellow gas can be seen. If you can see the greenish yellow gas is coming out from the test tube, that means chloride may be present. Next observation, you can see intense reddish brown fumes. You can see, if you did, see this observation, that means bromide ion is present. If you can see violet vapors is coming out, that means iodide is present. If you cannot see, then these are absent. Okay. Then you have to do fourth test. That one is salt plus concentrated H2SO4, then plus copper. Then you have to heat it. So for this experiment, you can see a reddish brown fumes. Then if you see this reddish brown fumes are present in the test tube, that means nitrate ion is present. So these four tests are dry test. You cannot use water, you cannot use any solvent. Okay. So after that, you have to go to wet test for unknown acid radical. By dry test, we can know that any one ion will be present. Okay. So if you can found, then okay, if you not found, then it will be okay, because after wet test you will know what the ion is present in the salt, what the acidic ion is present in the salt. Okay, so go to the wet test. So for wet test, you have to do three tests. So these three tests, first of all, you have to make a salt solution. So after doing the solubility test, all of you know how to do the solubility test. So after you have to make a salt solution. Okay. If the salt is soluble in water or dilute sulfuric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid, dilute HCl, this solvent I have given earlier. So, which is the perfect solvent for the salt? With the solvent, you have to make a salt solution. Okay. So from the salt solution, you have to take some salt solution, a little some salt solution in a test tube, and you have to add barium chloride solution. So for this test, two observations may come. First of all, you can see a white precipitate is gathered in the bottom of the test tube. If thus a white precipitate, after observing the white precipitate, you have to add dilute SNO3 solution. Okay, nitric acid. So while you have see the white precipitate found in the bottom of the test tube, so then you can add a dilute nitric acid solution in the test tube. Okay, so if the white precipitate is soluble in the nitric acid, that means carbonate is present. If the white precipitate is insoluble in the dilute or concentrated nitric acid, that means sulfur is present. Okay, so the white precipitate you can see, while the white precipitate you can see the bottom of the test tube, you can then you have to add a dilute nitric acid. If the white precipitate would be soluble in the nitric acid, that means carbonate present. And if the white precipitate is insoluble in the nitric acid, that means sulfate ion is present. Okay. So next test is salt solution plus silver nitrate solution. Then second test, you have to take a clean test tube. Then you have to take a salt solution. Then you have to add silver nitrate solution. So for this test, you can see three observation. Why these three observation are: first of all, you can see a white precipitate, which white precipitate is insoluble in ammonium hydroxide. If you can see white precipitate, we have to then add a ammonium hydroxide. If when you add ammonium hydroxide, and if the solution if the precipitate is soluble in ammonium hydroxide, that means chloride ion is present. If the white precipitate is insoluble in ammonium hydroxide, that means the chloride ion is absent, right? So next, you can see the pale yellow precipitate can be found. If pale yellow precipitate is found in the bottom of the test tube, then you have to add ammonium hydroxide. If ammonium, after adding ammonium hydroxide, if the precipitate is soluble in ammonium hydroxide, that means bromide ion is present. Okay, if yellow precipitate is found in the bottom of the test tube, then you have to add ammonium hydroxide. If the yellow precipitate is insoluble in the ammonium hydroxide, that means iodide is present. If yellow precipitate will be soluble in the ammonium hydroxide, then iodide will be absent, right? So next, you have to do a third number test. That one is ring test. So some of you know what happened to this. So for ring test, first of you have to take a salt solution. You have to add a freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution. Okay, so then you have to cool this mixer under the tap water. Okay, then you have to add 2 or 3 drops of sulfuric acid along the side of the test tube. Okay, not you cannot add directly to the test tube. You have to add along the side of the test tube. Got my point? What I am talking? Then you can found a dark brown ring is formed between the test tube, between the solution. Okay, solution, you can found a dark brown ring. You can see easily. That means if the ring is formed, then that means nitrate is confirmed. Okay. So after doing this experiment, after done this experiment, all test, you can see uh, sorry, one ion can be present in the salt solution. Salt. So after that, you have to do confirmatory test to confirm what acid radical present in the salt. So which radical you found from the dry test or wet test, you have to do the confirmatory test for that ion, that radical. Okay. So if you found a carbonate ion, then you have to do confirmatory test for carbonate ion. That means salt plus dilute H2SO4 plus heat. If you heat this, then you can observe a colorless, odorless gas is evaporate with a Briggs evaporance. Then that means carbonate ion is confirmed. If you found sulfate ion, then confirmatory test for sulfate ion is salt solution plus acetic acid plus lead acetate. You can observe white precipitate which is soluble in ammonium acetate. That means sulfate ion is confirmed. Okay, so confirmatory test for chloride ion. These are Next, bromide ion. Next, confirmatory test for nitrate ion. Nitrate ion you can confirm from the weight test. So here again they have given the ring test. So in a weight test we have done the we have done this ring test in weight test. So don't need to do no need to do this confirmatory test for nitrate ion because we have confirmed in weight test only. Okay. So this much you don't you have this experiment is up to only to determine the acidic radical. Okay, basic radical determination you not no need for this experiment. So have you any question about this experiment? All of you understand? Have you any question? So no one is responding. No one is talking. I'm talking to whom? I'm talking to myself only. আৰু কিবাটো কোৱা কেনেকে বুজি পাম যে তোমালোকে শুনি আছা
Ma'am, please.
শুনি আছা ন
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
সো এইটো কিবা প্ৰব্লেম আছে কিবা বুজি পোৱা নাই কিবা আছে নেকি have you any problem
Ma'am, please. Ma'am,
বুজি পাইছা
yes, ma'am.
okay very good সো বুজি পাইছা নহয় মই কিয় এইটো এক্সপেৰিমেণ্ট লিখিব মানা কৰিছো তো তুমি প্ৰেক্টিকেলটো কৰি দিলেহে তুমি গম পাবা যে কি এচিডিক ৰেডিকেল প্ৰেজেন্ট আছে তো তুমি নজনাকে তুমি কি লিখিবা হয়নে so
Yes,
first
ma'am.
you have to do the practical then you have to write down the practical in practical copy
Okay, ma'am.
মই আৰু এইটো নেক্সট টাইম তোমালোকে প্ৰেক্টিকেল কৰোঁতে মই বুজাব নাযাওঁ মই আজিয়ে বুজালো সো যদি কিবা ডাউট আছে মোক সোধা তোমালোকে নিজে কৰিব লাগিব এইটো প্ৰেক্টিকেল লেবত ওকে now you give your attendance in the chat box Jeet
Yes, ma'am.
record the roll numbers Ananya is absent or what someone is joining now the classes is end Jeet record the roll numbers
Yes, ma'am.
those who came now for this class the class is end so no benefit for you Aminul Islam you came now na Masuma Mezabin, you also came later. This class is over. Is it's done or not?
It's done, ma'am.
Okay, anyone left to give the roll numbers in chat box? Okay. So I am ending the class now. If you have any question, then ask me now. Later, I will not explain this experiment. And those who came later, ask your friend to explain this. Okay. Okay, I am ending the class now.